What's up, Fromville? Episode 6 just dropped, and you know we have to talk about it. I need an outlet, so I will start covering these videos from this point forth to the season finale. And if you have not seen episode 6 yet, it's okay. Save this video and come back when you've seen it. Starting with Tabitha and Jim's fight, honestly, it felt like they weren't in Fromville all of a sudden. It was like, oh, wow, they have this fight going on. They definitely seem extra loud. Guys, there are other people in this house. We can hear you. We want to go to sleep. And even the monsters were yelling and screeching outside. And I think that was that thing that brought them back to reality of, okay, let's chill. There are more pressing matters here. Whether we want to stay married or get divorced, it really doesn't matter because our life is at stake, so we'll put that on the back burner for now. It's really sad, the state of their marriage, because I can tell that they just have big communication issues, and with that mixed with the loss that they've had with Thomas, I think it just feels like a lot when it's like, you just need a few therapy sessions that you're not going to get today because we're fighting for our lives every day. But anyways, what else was going on in the episode? Victor and Henry. For one, I just want to say I'm so happy that Victor has his father. I think that Victor's been alone for so long. And when his dad was like, no, I'm coming with you, you can tell it was that sense of, oh, this is what having family here feels like. I haven't felt this in a long time, or at least that's what I got from it. So I just really love that he has a family member there. Granted, shows like this, anytime it's too good to be true and people are reconnected and reunited, it just makes me think, is someone going to die at the end? I don't know, but I'm just going to enjoy their relationship from this point forth and just them trying to make up for lost time. But I really think that Victor needed someone. He needed the parents that he never had just because he's been there, so long. But I laughed so hard seeing Henry go down into those tunnels, and the deeper they went, he had so much regret on his face. He was just like, hey son, maybe we need to try this tomorrow. So that was just so funny to me, like seeing him really freaking out inside, but trying to support his son at the same time. And all I kept thinking is he doesn't know what he got himself into, coming to From. I mean, of course, he thought they were driving to the tree on the other side, but is he in for a treat? But I am happy that in this episode they got Jasper. We only have 4 more episodes left, so I'm glad, okay, at least we got, I'm not there, but they got what they came for. So that was a relief because we have a few more episodes where they can really explore the Jasper thing, trying to get him to talk, seeing what's going on. So I'm glad that they're like, okay, let's go get Jasper. But it is interesting, of course, that they had to go deeper this time. And it's making me think about just how this is all created. And even though that other monster was waking up, the other one was very alert. She was just like, hey, Victor, I know y'all keep playing down here, but the next time you come, we're going to have to keep you down here. So that was very frightening, to say the least. And I just felt bad for the dad because he's seeing his wife's scarf and hearing her voice. And it's just, it's a lot. It's really a lot to take in. But I say that's a mission complete, at least that they were able to get Jasper. I wanted to touch on this really quickly. I think Kenny is such a character. For one, all the actors are phenomenal. Kenny is such a character where he's went through just such tremendous loss. We see him mourning, but not really. And I think this episode just showed him like, this is not my mom's house anymore. Like, my family is gone. We have Julie out here smoking. The parents is fighting. Like, it's really not it. And I think he feels like, okay, it's time for me to kind of move on to the next thing or figure out what home looks like for me in this stage. So it made me quite sad because of what it represented. But, shout out to Kenny. He really has such a big heart, like his mom, honestly. Next, let's get into Randall, right? Randall's finally waking up. We already know Boyd has been carrying that guilty conscience, since everything happened. I don't know, it's something about, what's her name? Is it Marielle? I think that's her name. I don't know what she has going on. She's always seemed weird to me. I couldn't quite connect with her. I don't know what it is, but I like that by the time he ran into Julie, I'm like, okay, I think they're going to have more of an open conversation about, like, okay, what are you feeling? What are you going through? And I think with them experiencing something so like life changing and traumatizing, they should be a trio, at least as far as like talking about it, because they would understand each other the most. So I'm interested to see how that relationships develop. But I am thinking like, okay, are y'all gonna make this a love connection by next season? I don't know. I think he has such a hard persona and character, and Julie just seems kind of like she just has a lot going on her own self. But I wouldn't be surprised if they took it there. But I'm just more so interested in them just really sharing their experiences so we can really get to some kind of just get more insight on what exactly they're experiencing. Like with him, we know he's seen like the cicadas and all that kind of stuff. With her, we know the screaming, but maybe there are some other things they haven't really shared, but we would see that more once they start having conversations, especially because we always complain that these characters don't talk to each other. So I'm happy with any conversations that are going to be happening. So happy about that. I knew with the last episode, I knew that something was going to happen with the Polaroids. I didn't expect it to be a jump scare and, something right in the moment. I've seen a lot of videos where people were complaining and like, oh, what was the point of that scene? But I don't think anything is by an accident on the show at all. But it was interesting, and I seen a lot of reviews too where people felt like there was a connection between Fatima and the kimono lady. For one, that lady is so creepy. Like, yes, you want me to help you, lady, but I'm gonna need you to stop touching on me. And yeah, I don't know. Like, she has a lot going on to where I would be terrified. I'm interested to see, like, is this a setup? Is this giving Music Box part 2? Because, when Boyd was down there and trying to help that man off the chains and he transferred the worms to him, and it just unlocked this darkness, this new mission that they had to figure out beside their night to night routine of, the monsters. It's hard to trust. It's like, girl, I want to help you, but like, is this really going to help us get home? Or is this kind of like how Sarah was hearing voices and things, for her to do things to help them get home? So it's hard to trust at this point. It is quite scary, but yeah, I'm interested to see how that continues to unfold. But I do think that Elgin will always have some kind of important role in the show, just because when he came into the show, he already was having dreams. And it feels like with anyone that has had like any kind of visions, dreams, things like that, like they are chosen ones to some degree to, just be a big piece of the puzzle, I think. Jade is definitely one of my favorite characters. And I think that out of everyone, of course you have like Tabitha and things like people like that, but Jade is always on job. Jade is always writing the notes. He's trying to see what's up. Like, when everyone else is sleeping, his brain is still going, and you have to appreciate a character like that. But I like what, I think his name is Tom, but I like what he said about like, hey, sober up, because Jade has been high or drunk really since we met him, honestly, which, hey, I get it. You have to cope, but how much sharper could he be if he was sober? Maybe he'll catch something. And I love that they're putting him and Ethan together. I always thought that Ethan would contribute something just with like that child mind with the big imagination and kind of pointing out the obvious. So I think that they're setting that up for them to have some kind of aha moment, some kind of epiphany or something like that. So super excited about that. And at this point, I think the great trio is, well, Victor kind of is on his own. Of course, I think he's always a piece, but Ethan, Tabitha, and Jade, they may really come up with something. I'm excited to see what they can come up with just by being intentional and really wanting to figure out, like, how do we get out of this crazy place? Because at this point, we know the numbers. Well, we don't know, but the numbers are either dates or coordinates or something. So I'm so interested to just get that uncovered by the end of the season. Also, speaking of Jade, just that moment with Tabitha and her realizing that, oh wait, I've seen this place in a dream. What? Oh my gosh, like that episode was cool, but that moment and the end part with Fatima, that was like, okay, wait a minute. wait a minute, okay. Like, we already knew that there were some correlations between Tabitha and Miranda, Victor's mom, just as it relates to like visions and you have to save the children. And those children are so creepy. Oh my gosh, I'm tired of those kids because they always want to touch on her. And it's just like, I can't help y'all like this. I need a few feet so I can think clearly, because this is a little much. It's a little much. Those was cooey kids. It's too much for me. But I think that by us now seeing that Tabitha has some kind of connection to this place since she was a little girl having these dreams, honestly is cool, because it's like, oh, we're figuring out something, but it's also scary because it's like, oh, I was going to end up here regardless. I was meant to come here. Like, why me? Like, I don't want to be a chosen one. So I am so curious to see. And I think that just proves even more of like, okay, these people are definitely destined to be here to play some kind of role, specifically Tabitha. Looking forward to seeing more with that now, because is this more reincarnation kind of vibes? I don't know. But because it does feel like every so often, whenever this history repeats and this new batch of people come, I'm sure there's other chosen ones, just like Christopher and Jade and so on and so forth. But Fatima, right? That was good. I like where this story's going. I think it would have been kind of whatever if it was just the baby looked normal and we just kind of keep going on. But it's like, look, Fatima girl, we may have to lock you up for a little bit. We love you, but we just got to make sure everybody's safe. We may have to lock you up a little bit, put you somewhere, assess, because now things are about to get interesting. Now things are in a good way. Like, you don't need to really have a baby in this place. Let's be real. But okay, now process of elimination. Okay, you going through some kind of transition. So now we need to investigate. So I am so curious to see how they handle it. I know she was so nervous to tell people, but it's like, no, imagine if they didn't even get the thing done, the sonogram thing. Like, no, we need to investigate and see what's going on with this baby, or lack of, and go from there. But I think that history is going to repeat itself to where, unless they figure something out, but I think they're going to go towards the place of Fatima turning, becoming a danger to others. And Elgin's going to be in his dad's shoes and have to make that hard decision to, live his wife, or the dad is going to have to step in to not have that sit on Ellis on his conscience. Like, I think his dad is going to be a hard decision. I think it's going to be tough, and either the dad's going to do it so his son doesn't have to live with that, or he's going to do it of like, no, I'm gonna step up. Like, it's going to be that, just that moment that we don't want, but I think it's going to come full circle. Like the music box, Boyd was able to solve it. It didn't get that far, but why Fatima, like, why her? Why did this have to happen to her? But maybe like people turning into a monster is similar to a pregnancy kind of experience, or it's a connection between her and the kimono lady where she's birthing something or connected to her in some kind of spiritual sense. Either way, it's not good. It's not good either way. This is a horrible thing that's about to take place, and I'm just obsessed with this show. I can't wait to see what they're going to do in these next 4 episodes. I definitely want them to go back out to that settlement, get more food, and explore what those other monsters are, or what else is out there. We have to figure out how to get Jasper talking. I have no clue how they're going to do that storyline. I'm like, okay, I guess, but okay. We got Jasper. And why were the monsters so okay with giving Jasper up? Like, it's almost like it was set up like a tea party, and Jasper was like, hey, he kind of propped up, and it's just like, okay, is this a setup, or is this, I don't know. I'm so curious about that for sure. I want to know your thoughts. Like, what did you think of the episode? How would you rate the episode? And I want to know your theories. I think that's the most fun part about watching the show with other fans, is that we're all just brains are on 7 days a week into that next episode of like, okay, what's up? So let me know what your thoughts are in the comments, and I'll catch you all in the next video. All right, bye.